Right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Power 30 on this fine, lovely Monday morning. Um, Joey Nye here. I'm sure most of you have seen me enough this month, have not gotten enough of me. I don't know, whichever it is, but I'm on your side on whatever part of the spectrum you're at right now. I was asked to hop on here and help out some of our baby mamas that are doing the things and taking care of all the things that they have to right now. So I'm here and I'm excited for it. I had kind of in my mind where I wanted to go today, and then I got some feedback from Power Hour. So if you were on Power Hour, give me like a fire in the comments because I was super nervous for that. And as I've started out today with a little tech glitch, right? What most of you may or may not know, some of you do know because you messaged me during Power Hour and literally saved my life. Um, I had no sound on my end, and the music was supposed to be my timer. So if you heard music and saw a timer, I didn't have any of that, and I tried to use my computer actually as backup, but Reed would be talking, and my computer still showed me talking like 3 minutes ago. So I really had like no grasp of what was really happening, and I just continued to go with it. And I know like Nicole messaged me and a couple people messaged me like, girl, you're killing it. I'm like, okay, but can you tell me how much time I have left, because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm literally just winging it, right? So, if you didn't know that, now you do, and the proof is there that, like Alita and Megan always say, like just do it messy, messy action. Well, it couldn't have gotten any messier. I just held it together. So I want to talk a little bit today about Power Hour and some of the feedback that I got, because everybody's like, Joey, like, how did you become an icon? Like, how did you do it? And the focus wasn't on me coming home from convention and saying, like, well, I mean, I knew I wanted to be an icon, but it wasn't like, okay, I'm going to be an icon. What do I have to do? It isn't all my work, right? Like, becoming an icon does not get handed to you. It's not just because you show up and do all of the things. If you don't show up and do all of the things and pour that belief into somebody else, you're not going to be an icon. It's not just about you. This isn't a me goal. This is an everybody goal. Or that is an everybody goal. It's a team goal. So my focus wasn't like tunnel vision on icon. And I think a lot of people are really getting caught up on that. And they're like, oh my gosh, who am I going to get to be who do this? Well, yes, we have to figure those steps out, but you have to figure it out by doing the work. Okay. And the work was on the Power Hour call. That is the work. That's the system. It's not luck. It's not magic, but it's consistently taking action and doing the things that we're told to do from the day that we start. The things that if you do those things and you create a level one and they do the things because you taught them to do the things, then that's where duplication goes. And then they're going to do the things with their level one. And it multiplies, and that's where senior silvers are born and beyond. So if you are not doing these things, all of the tools, all of the things from Power Hour, if you're not doing these things daily and you find yourself getting frustrated for not being where you want to be, but you're also spending at least an hour a day scrolling on social media, then you don't get to question why the needle isn't moving forward, because you're not doing the work. You're showing up. You might be on socials, you might be present, people might see you, but if you're not tracking what you're doing and focusing on those little pockets of actual intentional work, then you don't get to question why the needle isn't moving forward. So on Power Hour, we went over all of the things. We connected, we followed up, we invited, we shared stories, we closed, and we asked. Okay. So we are in the business of conversations, and conversations create commissions, period. So if you're not sending the messages, if your sponsor is telling you, did you send 10 messages today? And you sent three, you're not working your business. You're not communicating. If you have a storefront and somebody walks in and they're browsing all around and you say absolutely nothing to them, they're there and you're there, you're present, they know that you're there. But if you don't have a conversation with them, what is the likelihood that they're going to feel disconnected and walk out? I mean, we obviously too, on the flip side, I don't like to walk into a store and be bombarded by like five employees like all over me and all up in my stuff. Like, I don't like that, but acknowledge me, make me feel special, see what I can benefit, like help me. What solution can you give me? And if you don't have one, then this isn't a great fit for me. And then that person can leave, right? But if you never offer them a solution, then why are they going to keep walking around your store? So these steps from Power Hour are not just boxes to check. They're literally the foundation of your business. So like I said, with, opening the storefront, just being there, you can just be there. And a lot of us, I feel like, well, I was on social media today for 5 hours, right? Like I was scrolling, I was sending messages. But did you have any direction? Did you have an intention set with those messages? Because if not, that's where we get lost in the sauce and caught up in, like, I was doing the work and I'm not getting the results that somebody else is getting. These are literally the basics of what we've been told to start with. So I'm not doing anything different. I don't have anything special. My life is chaotic and a mess. But literally what I've been taught from when I've started and from the amazing leaders that we have here is the sauce. That is the ticket. That is the magic. And the magic is consistency of doing the simple steps that were given from the start, which is connecting, following up, inviting, sharing, closing, asking, in and out. So what we are teaching is duplication. Um, I'm literally always lost in the sauce. Sorry, Lita. So to be icon, if your goal right now is like, yes, like I want that 800 points, I'm doing it by the end of August. And I messaged you or called you right now on the phone and said, hey, who are your 2 senior silvers? What are their points at? What are their numbers? What are their projections for the end of this month? And you can't tell me, then you truly don't want that 800 points by the end of this month. Because you have to know who they are. You have to have been working with them. You can't just be like, going down the list. Like, you know what? I think I'm going to message Jen today and see what we can come up with. Like you have got to have been pouring into her already, letting her know that she is capable. And who are we reaching out to today? Because she doesn't know what this means for you. Yes, this is your goal, but you have to focus on what this is going to do for her. What wins is she going to see by helping you move the needle forward? What is her paycheck going to look like? What is that going to do for her family? What is her staying consistent on her products going to look like? How can she help her family and her friends by getting their next 3 months of supplements for free? Like, what is that going to do for them? Can she think of somebody that can benefit from $300 extra, or getting paid tomorrow? So these are all things that we need to help them with. So the focus, yes, is icon, but you cannot tunnel vision on icon. You have to spread it out to absolutely, what is this going to do for this person? Because when I check in with her every day, I don't want her like, Joey, shut up. Like, I don't want this as bad as you do. You teach them that they do want this as bad as you do, but for different reasons and for where they're at, right? So, I'm messaging her, I'm messaging Casey, and I'm like, Casey, okay, like, where can we help Jenny at today? Because it's like, it's not just, Casey and Jenny working now. Casey's going to be an icon. Casey's on her way to icon, but I'm plugging in with Casey to help her get icon by finding out what we can do to help Jenny. So it's constant, checking in. And if you aren't in three-way conversations with these people and showing them the community, and really pouring into them and showing them the different levels of support that we have here, then you're totally missing the boat. Or we're still missing the boat from last year, right? We're just running it. So picture this. If I repeat these steps daily for the next 30 days, okay, we're not even going 90. For the next 30 days, where would your business be? How much stronger would your paycheck be just in 30 days by following and strategically focused on those steps from Power Hour? And how much difference would your confidence be? So if you're like, you know what, I can't do this every day, it seems wild to me. Do 30 days, because your confidence is going to skyrocket that the next 30 days and the next 60 days and the next 90 days come easier, because you're just so used to doing these steps now that you've gotten the confidence from it. So Just picture that. What difference would it make? And just know that leaders are not built in the big flashy moments. um, it's the consistent one. So it is these small steps, stacked up day after day, plugging away. You can ask anybody on my team. I'm literally in Messenger, in all of the chats all day, every day, because that is where I want to be right now, because I want this for my business. You might not want to rank up, and that's okay. Then backtrack it a little bit. Be like, Joey's showing up this many hours a day and she's doing this power hour. What if I just cut that power hour into power 30 because I still want the needle to move, but I don't want what she's doing? You don't have to want more. You don't have to want the next rank. You don't have to want to be a jewel tomorrow. But if you're not doing something, then you're closing your business. You're filing for bankruptcy. Like, you've got to keep doing something, or there's not going to be any growth. So like I said, maybe it feels repetitive to be like, oh my gosh, like I'm going to continue to keep doing these steps every day, messaging 10 people and reaching out to 5 people, going on their stories. Or like you didn't get a response from somebody from Power Hour on Friday. Like, people didn't respond to you, right? So what? That's proof that you're doing the work. You're planting the seeds. Every no is closer to a yes. And actually, on a call that I was on, was the icon call with Eric Worre, somebody said, when somebody tells me no, this is in my notes that I was gonna go over, that I just say, like, you know what, I'm just gonna take that as you're not ready right now. Like, says this back to them and puts it in their head so that they know, like, it's okay for you to reach out to me later because I kind of feel like you're gonna come back. You might not be ready right now, but it could happen. So every no is closer to a yes. And every unanswered message is still a planted seed. They know you're there. They know you're there. And I really will message somebody again after 5 unanswered messages, because unless you tell me no, or unless you block me, I look at it like this. Like, I'm an adult, and if I have a problem with you, I'm going to tell you. And if I don't want to talk to you, I'm going to tell you. And so I expect that out of other people too. So if they don't tell me no, they don't block me, I'm still showing up in their inbox. So keep planting the seeds. The hard is what makes it worth it. Because this growth doesn't happen on the easy days. Believe me. So consistency is what sets you apart. So that's what the magic is. It's consistency. We're not sitting back. Any of the leaders here are not sitting back and waiting for momentum or waiting for somebody else, to spark a match or light some energy. They're literally just taking it and creating the momentum, not sitting back waiting for it. And that is like, if you were like, Joey, what's the secret? It's like, I'm not waiting for anybody. Nobody wants my goals as much as I do. So I'm going to create the momentum. This is what it's going to be. I woke up feeling super ill this morning. Good morning. Here we are. Don't care, right? I got things to do and people to see. So here we are. Take bold action. So after this call today, I want you to go extra. I don't even care if you already did your power hour this morning or if you were putting it off. I want you to take bold action and send 5 more reach outs or follow up. 5 more reach outs and follow up with someone that you've been putting off, because I know that still after Friday, you literally still have somebody in your mind that you're putting off. I know that, and I'm calling you out on it right now. So message that person. Oh, thank you. Message that person and message your accountability partner with a goal for today. And if you don't have an accountability partner, go get you one. And my inbox is open. Like I said, I'm in there all day. So might take me a minute to get back to you, but I'm there. I promise. So go get you an accountability partner today. If you are doing this, you are already doing what it takes. So going to breathe, and I'm going to let you hear that again. If you are taking these steps and you are doing the work and you are showing up on this call and you are doing the trackers from the accountability and actually doing the work, not just showing up on social media and scrolling and liking some posts here and there and commenting every now and then. If you are intentionally working, then you are doing what it takes, because those are the things that I've been doing. You are already proving that you're capable, you're consistent, and you're committed. So you will be an icon. You will be a founding icon member if you continue to do the work. We are only unstoppable because we don't quit. That's the difference. So imagine right now in 90 days, right? So like, close your eyes, 90 days, hear me out. You didn't actually take this seriously, right? And you're like, Joey's wild. Joey's a little crazy. Not really willing to put in all that she's doing. So in 90 days, you're sitting and there's icons popped everywhere. People got some points. They're on their way to Cancun. Everybody's celebrating all the things. And you're like, dang, like what would have happened if I would have started this system like 90 days ago? Weird, right? Like, huh. So then imagine yourself 90 days from now being able to thank yourself for the work that you put in today. A whole lot different, a whole lot different feeling. And I'm going to tell you from the Icon Earner call that we were on with Eric Worre, it was call number one, because lots of things happened and unexpectedly it went super long and they decided there needs to be a second one. So the first one, I got a bunch of nuggets of information from Eric and from the other earners on the call. And after Eric actually went through and talked one on one with every single person that was on that call. And afterwards, went through and he gave us his notes. So, proof that you can literally learn from everyone, regardless of where they're at. And I absolutely did from everyone on that call. But he went through and he took notes from every single person on the call and he went through his notes. And the one thing that he said after going through all of the notes, hearing everyone's story, hearing about the products, hearing about what we have to offer, hearing about the people that already are Icon and who they have on their way to Icon. And he first of all said, he's like, totally off record, but just so that you know, from your stories and people literally sharing, I got here because very early in their business, I started to use the products and they work. Well, crap, right? He like, you have something here. You have a company that supports you all the way through corporate. So not just, your team here, which is amazing. But you have a company that supports you. You have price points that are amazing and you have products that actually work. And the reason that people are getting to the point that they can share their story and their why and how they got to where they are literally started with getting consistent with products that made you feel good, products that work. Like we have something here that no one else has. Like it literally starts from the products. We're not trying to, you know, pull the wool over anyone's eyes. Like it's literally the stories that he heard and he was like, wow, from being on that call. But what he said was, if you don't work in August, if you're not working your butt off right now, if you don't cut the, oh my gosh, like it's back to school season and it's so busy, I don't have time to work, and you don't make it work in August, you're missing the bus, because the people that are working right now in August, the people that aren't are not going to catch you through the holidays and into the new year. He said they're just not. So this isn't me telling you. This is Eric telling you. I'm channeling my inner Eric Worre here. If you are working now and you are doing the things, no one is going to catch you. He said they're just not. I literally wrote it down just like that. They're just not. So I literally can tell you guys I am so freaking busy in my real life right now. I mean, there are so many things that I like don't want to do right now, but I am. There are so many excuses I could be making and really want to. But I don't want to be the person that's not catching up come the holidays and the new year. I want to have another debt-free holiday. I want to be able to enjoy it with my family. I want to roll into the new year and not be wondering like how I'm going to meet the new year deductible. If we're being honest, yesterday was 2 years from the day that we found out that my son had a large bleeding mass in his brain. And that popped up on my Facebook and I shared the memories, and it was 2 years from the day that he was admitted and medevac to a larger hospital and underwent his first of 2 brain surgeries within the last 2 years, which is absolutely wild to me. But really what that triggered for me was, wow, 2 years ago in this week, I had to decide how I was gonna show up better for me. And I looked at those pictures of my son yesterday and I was like, holy crap, like it paid off, because we went through even harder times after that, man. And if it wasn't for Plexus and it wasn't for the community and it wasn't for the family and it wasn't for the people here and the confidence that it helped to give me to step into each new day and financially the way that it helped my family, like so many things came from sitting down and thinking, how can I show up better for myself? Like, I mean, it's a huge picture, right? But then to kind of be like, to narrow it down, like in that moment, in this week, 2 years ago, I was having the absolute hardest season of my entire life and I turned and found Plexus. And I'm here, like I'm right here in front of you today. And, and praying to God, like we never have a season like that again, but also being so incredibly thankful for every single thing from that moment moving forward. I've learned so much about myself, about my family, about who I am as a person, about who I allow into my space, which has been the biggest thing for me. And I just so many people just need to know how to show up better for themselves. And to be honest, you guys, they have to know that it's okay to do that. Because I can tell you, I had a lot of people, batting their eyes at me or rolling their eyes or being like, once I started to share Plexus 2 months after my son's brain surgery, and they're like, she's showing up with like a cute pink drink and trying to sell it to people now. Like, what? So her son just had brain surgery, and this is what she's focused on herself. Yes. Yep. And I am so super thankful that I had the strength to be able to do that because, especially, I feel like new moms, and it doesn't matter what the season is. My son was 18 years old when that first happened. Like, he wasn't just a little baby, but he was my baby, and it is my life and my family. And it was okay for me to be like, how can I show up better for myself? So, turning to like the products, and like Eric said, it started with the products and it's because they work, so we get to be so proud to share these things, and my life is totally different right now and nowhere near where I know I'm going. And I mean, and I say that now with confidence you never would have found in me 2 years ago. So I am super proud of that, but it comes literally back to taking your products consistently, being proud of what they're doing for you and how they're making you feel. And if not you, like somebody else on this call, take their story. Like I love taking your stories and being like, I know this person. Like you always see me use like the little Alf meme, and I'm like, oh my God, I know her. Like because even if I haven't met you or hugged you yet, like I do. And I love to share other people's stories about how these products really truly work, because so many times it's, influencers and God knows what, but and people don't really know them. And I've had people call me out and be like, oh, but you shared those posts, but do you actually know those people? And I'm like, heck yeah, let me tag her, so like that feels good. So but back to what Eric said, like the products work. They really work. If they didn't work, they would have made me feel good, so good in the hardest season of my life, to decide, like, you know what? Okay, Sharon. Okay, I'll put a post up 3 years later. Like, fine, Sharon. Right. So I'm like, but it started with the products. It wasn't because I wanted to be on a call with leaders or knew how I would feel today in this moment getting to share with you, or like earning paychecks and trips and all those things. I didn't know that. I just wanted these products to work so that I could feel better for myself. So it starts like, stop tunnel vision on one thing. Like it doesn't need to just be Icon. It doesn't need to just be Cancun. It can be, but if you break it up into the pieces that are going to get you there and do the work consistently, then you wake up and you are an icon because you are an icon. And you wake up and you've earned the trip to Cancun because you've already put the work in. And I'm just so grateful, the way that things worked out for me in these last 2 years. And it feels hard to say that sometimes. I'm like, how the heck are you grateful? Because it's been hard. But I'm so grateful for what opening that door for myself and just giving myself this whole opportunity has done for myself and my family in a time that I could have said, nope, all eggs in one basket. Like it's all about Seth. Like this is just it. But I knew, in order to be able to help Seth, and in order to be able to keep my marriage, in order to be able to make sure that my daughter, who at the time, she's 14 right now. So what an age, it's 12 years old. Like what a transition to like sit back and give up and only, focus on her brother, or, and she's like the strongest person ever. But they've taught me so much through all of this. But being able to be here is because of Plexus. Like it truly is. So we have a gift that we can offer products that actually work, and we have systems that actually get us to the next level and allow us the belief that we know that we are all capable of this, if you are just consistent. So we don't wait for momentum here, we create it. We are building leaders, and I know it. So I know it. I was gonna say I believe it, but I believe it. I know it. I feel it. Like there is no other way. We are just getting started. Like we are just getting started. I personally have a couple girls that are like ready to pop icon over on my team. And it's because they're taking the steps and they're doing the work. And I'm just super looking forward to Cancun with some of my best friends that don't live anywhere near me. Like, isn't that the craziest thing? But yeah, so that is my story. That is my, track to icon, fast track it the next 2 weeks here. It's absolutely possible, absolutely possible. And if there's anything that I can do for any of you on here, like if you just need a good fired up, then I mean, hit me up. My inbox is open. But I'm so blessed to be able to be here today and get to share with you and
Can I
celebrate.
ask a question?
Yes.
Okay, literally, I'm over here like blowing up the chat. You're probably like, can you please stop?
No, I'm like,
I'm
okay,
like,
like people are
this
hearing
is
me.
so good. This is literally one of the best trainings. Like, I'm going to be sending this to everybody I know in on every team. Alicia messaged me and was like, "Oh my gosh, Joey is absolute fire." Okay, I'm literally like just beside myself. So, the one thing that if I'm listening to this and I'm like, "Okay, I'm so inspired. Like, you've so inspired me." And let's say I'm a gold and I'm feeling like I don't have the people to go icon. What what is Joey's mindset? Because this is where I think it's so powerful is like when you were so vulnerable and you said, my son had brain surgery and it was like people could be like, "Whoa, you're focused on yourself with your Plexus business." It's like, "Hell yeah." That's how I was when my husband died. People were like, "You're not grieving properly." I'm like, no, I'm taking care of my family and building an empire and I have zero regrets of that. Zero. And everyone who said anything to me about not doing it right or whatever literally are living the same lives they were 10 years ago.
Mhm.
But what is that? What is the version of you at Gold that's saying, I'm not sure how to go about, like, I'm motivated, I'm inspired, but maybe I don't have the builders underneath me yet. How are you getting those people?
If you are not confident with the people under you, then you go find new people.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
if already in your mind you're looking at your list and you're like, they're not going to do it. First of all, like, who are you to judge? Did you give them a chance yet? And second of all, that if you truly did, like, if you feel that you've poured in and they're just not doing it, then there comes a time and you have to stop beating a dead horse, right? Like I was the dead horse for a long time, poor Sharon. But you don't totally give up on people, but right now, like if you have a goal, then you have to work with the willing. You have to work with somebody who is at least giving you some energy. I have some people on my team that want it, right? But I'm not in their inbox every single day because there's not there like you're not getting anything back, right? You got to give a little, right? So I try to meet people where the energy is, and when I say go find people, then people are also like, okay, but then how do you go find people? Is that the next question, Alita? um, then you go back to the steps from Power Hour and you start building those relationships and you start sending those messages and you start finding out what solutions you can offer them, because that's where it's going to start. They do not want to jump in with you just because you have a goal to have a builder. For me, a lot of people don't come in here saying like, okay, like I want to build. Most of my girls that are building right now didn't come in here knowing what they were doing, if they wanted to build, or even what building meant while they were building, because we just followed the steps of getting the shout out post up, finding people that are interested, reaching out to them, always having something to invite to. And I think we started doing more invite incentives like now, or initiative, I should say, with events each week rather than, for sure a monthly thing. And we do like a lot of 7-day challenges. If you feel like your people just aren't committed, or they're really hesitant on like, I don't want to share, I don't want to do the business. Okay, well, can you find 5 people that would be willing to try the pink drink for 7 days? Because if you get them their 3 in 7 days, well, heck, yeah, that's $300. Now they do wanna share, they are willing, and it changes their mind. So, does that answer that at all?
Sorry, I was trying to find the mute button with like one arm over here. Okay, so yes, that answers the question. And really, y'all, what she's saying in like absolutely, if I was to summarize, is stop making excuses and be willing to fail until you succeed, right? If people aren't sharing, try a 7-day challenge. If people aren't wanting to step out of their comfort zone, find new people. Like, just stop making excuses. But I love it, Joey, when you said you got to work with the willing, right? It's like you got to work with the willing. And the other thing that I'm obsessed with is I totally missed it because I was probably having a baby, but the one-on-one with Eric Worre, I'm dying over here that you got to do that. Like, I just think that's so epically amazing.
I died a little bit when it happened.
That's so freaking cool. And I just am so blown away at what you're building. And I love it so much. It takes courage. It literally takes just not caring what other people think. And that's the hardest part. That is the hardest part. That is where I think truly most people get stuck is they start focusing on what is everyone else thinking I'm doing? I don't want to come across this way. I don't want to come across that way. It's like that's not how people build empires, friends. That is not how people build empires. They do not build empires wondering and worrying about what other people think, right? They're just going for it. So this was absolutely like a non-negotiable for people to watch, in my opinion. This is just phenomenal. So thank you so much. Seriously.
Thank you. My biggest thing too, just to wrap it up, and from that, and this popped up in my Facebook memories too, because I always kind of use this analogy, especially with people's opinions, because we really do get caught up in what other people think, whether it be strangers or the people closest to us. Because let's be honest, the people closest to us sometimes have no concept and no realization of what we're really doing, and how we're changing our lives, even though they're watching it closely happen, because we're not the same person we were 2 years ago. So it's harder for them, but we are not paying our bills with their opinions. I did not just make the final payment on my metal roof with a Plexus paycheck that came from their opinions. So there's a lot more good opinions about Plexus if you keep sharing it. And people don't know what they don't know. So it is your job to get out there and do it. So who's going icon? Thank you guys so much for joining me today and letting me speak to you or speak at you and tell you all of the things. It was absolutely my pleasure, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your Monday.